Picture this. You're standing outside on a normal sunny day, sipping your overpriced iced coffee when suddenly the Earth decides to slam on the brakes. No warning, no countdown, just bam! 1 second it's spinning happily, the next it's like someone yanked the cosmic handbrake. Now you're probably thinking, it's only 1 second, how bad could it be? Well, let me put it this way. Imagine you're riding a bus going 1,000 miles per hour. Don't ask why the bus is that fast, just roll with me. And then the driver floors the brake pedal. You, your seat, your grandma's casserole, everything goes flying straight out the windshield. That's basically what would happen to us if Earth hit pause for just 1 tiny second. And here's the wild part. You don't even notice the speed right now because everything around you, the oceans, the buildings, the air itself, is moving at the exact same rate. It's like spinning in an office chair. As long as you're spinning together, it feels normal. But the moment someone jams a carrot into the wheels, boom, you're eating drywall. So yeah, stopping the Earth for just 1 second would be less like hitting pause on Netflix and more like pressing the self-destruct button on Planet Life. And remember, I'm just a dumb rabbit with oversized glasses, but even I know this is a really bad idea. Still curious? Good, because we're about to see how 1 second of planetary chaos could turn our comfy little world into the universe's worst theme park ride. Alright, let's talk about just how fast this giant blue marble is actually spinning. Spoiler, it's way faster than your brain is comfortable imagining. At the equator, Earth is rotating at about 1,600 kilometers per hour. That's roughly 1,000 miles per hour. Let me translate, that's faster than the speed of sound, which means if you're chilling at the beach in Brazil, you're technically already moving faster than a fighter jet. Congratulations, you're supersonic, and you didn't even buy a ticket. So why don't we feel it? Why aren't our ears popping like we're on the world's worst airplane? Well, it's because everything around us, the ground, the oceans, the air, your half-eaten carrot, they're all moving at the same speed. It's like being on a smooth bullet train. You only notice the motion when it suddenly stops or changes direction. To make this a bit more relatable, picture Dumb Rabbit. That's me, sitting on a spinny office chair. Spin me gently, I'll just giggle and adjust my glasses. Spin me at 1,600 kilometers per hour, and I'll probably barf carrots across the room. But as long as the chair keeps spinning smoothly, it feels surprisingly normal. Now here's the catch. That smooth ride depends on Earth never hitting pause. The instant it does, the chair legs stop, but fluffy little me keeps zooming forward like a fur-covered missile. And it's not just me. Every building, every tree, every ocean wave, billions of tons of stuff would suddenly break free from the merry-go-round ride we call rotation. In short, the only reason you're not currently plastered against a wall is because the Earth hasn't sneezed mid-spin. And trust me, you do not want to find out what happens if it ever does. So let's hit that imaginary pause button and see what happens. Earth suddenly stops spinning. The ground beneath your feet freezes solid in place. Sounds fine for about half a millisecond until you realize you didn't get the memo. Because here's the rule of physics. Inertia. Things in motion like to stay in motion. And since you've been happily cruising at 1,600 kilometers an hour thanks to Earth's spin, the second the planet stops, your body keeps going. Imagine running full speed into an invisible wall, except instead of jogging, you're basically a supersonic potato. Cars would rocket forward like giant bullets. Skyscraper walls would crumble because their tops want to keep moving while their foundations are stuck. Trees would rip out of the ground like weeds. Even your breakfast cereal? Yeah, say goodbye to that bowl, it's becoming shrapnel. But the real killer isn't the flying toasters or airborne rabbits, it's the atmosphere itself. Remember, the air has also been spinning along nicely. The second the Earth stops, the atmosphere doesn't. Suddenly, the whole planet is hit with winds faster than a jet fighter, supersonic hurricanes sweeping across every continent at once. Picture the most powerful tornado you've ever seen. Now multiply it until your calculator explodes. That's what we're talking about. Entire cities flattened. Oceans peeled back, mountains sandblasted by storms.
I told
Dumb
you.
rabbit?
Help.
I'd be tumbling across the landscape like a discount tumbleweed, squeaking out one last "I told you so." And the worst part, it doesn't calm down right away. Billions of tons of air don't just politely stop moving. They keep roaring forward, dragging dust, fire, debris, and terrified rabbits with them. What you'd have left is a planet-wide demolition derby, except nobody's driving and everyone's losing. So yeah, when people ask me what happens if Earth stops for a second, the answer is simple. Everything else doesn't stop, and that's when the fun begins. If your idea of fun is being yeeted at Mach 1 into a carrot stand. Okay, so the land is already a mess, but let's not forget the biggest player in this game, water. Oceans cover more than 70% of our planet, and they've been spinning right along with us at that same breakneck speed. Now imagine all that water suddenly deciding it doesn't care about Earth's brake pedal. The instant the planet stops, the oceans keep rushing forward. Picture billions of tons of water sliding across the continents like someone just kicked over the world's largest fishbowl. Coastlines? Gone. Entire cities near the shore? Flattened. Even places far inland would get smacked by waves taller than skyscrapers. And these aren't your average beach waves. These are mega-tsunamis. The kind of waves that make the famous 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami look like a kiddie pool splash. We're talking walls of water kilometers high, bulldozing everything in their path, buildings, forests, unlucky rabbits. Now, I know what you're thinking. Could you surf it? No. Absolutely not. This isn't a dude grab your board situation. This is a dude grab your flotation device and maybe write a will situation. Dumb rabbit trying to surf that wave would look like a soggy carrot bobbing in a blender. But here's the kicker. Water doesn't just roll in nicely and stop. After the first impact, it rebounds, sloshes back, collides with other waves, and keeps crashing for hours, even days. Rivers would reverse flow, lakes would overflow, whole continents would be reshaped in minutes. The ocean is basically Earth's heavyweight boxer, and if you suddenly stop the ring from spinning, it's throwing haymakers in every direction. No human, no animal, no city could survive standing in the way. So yeah, the land is shredded, the air is on fire, and now the oceans have decided to cosplay as global bulldozers. At this point, you'd have to admit, 1 second of Earth hitting pause is starting to feel like way too long. And trust me, it's only going to get worse. So far, we've got flying cars, mega-tsunamis, and supersonic winds. But wait, the chaos buffet isn't over. Let's talk about fire. See, when Earth stops but the atmosphere keeps going, you don't just get big gusts of wind. You get air moving so fast it creates insane amounts of friction and compression. Translation, the sky itself starts heating up. Imagine a billion jet engines all blasting at once, turning the air into an oven. Now picture those supersonic winds slamming into buildings, forests, and mountains. That energy doesn't just disappear. It sparks firestorms. Entire forests ignite like matches. Cities turn into giant barbecue grills. Even deserts, which don't usually burn, would be blasted by so much heat that the sand could literally melt into glass. Goodbye, Sahara. Hello, world's biggest glass coffee table. And dumb rabbit? Yeah, I'd be hopping around with my oversized glasses fogged up, clutching a half-melted carrot, screaming, "This is fine!" like that famous meme dog, except way less fine. Here's the brutal part. Oxygen is still everywhere. The faster the winds, the more oxygen gets shoved into the flames. That means fires wouldn't just burn, they'd rage like flamethrowers on steroids. You'd have continent-sized infernos feeding themselves, spreading faster than you could blink. And if you thought tornadoes were bad, now you've got fire tornadoes, giant swirling vortexes of flames dancing across the wasteland like Satan decided to try figure skating. But hey, don't worry, it gets worse. All that smoke and ash, it would rise into the atmosphere, blotting out the sun. At first, it would look like the world's most metal concert, but soon it would choke out what little life survived the floods and winds. No sunlight means no plants. No plants means no food. And no food means, well, let's just say rabbits don't do well without carrots. So yeah, Earth hitting pause isn't just a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster that ends in a fireball. And somehow, we're still not done with the nightmare. So after 1 second of pure chaos, hurricane winds, tsunamis, firestorms, you think the worst is over, right? Nope, that was just the opening act. Now let's see what happens if Earth doesn't start spinning again. First up, earthquakes and volcanoes. You know that solid crust we live on? Yeah, it's basically Earth's eggshell, and underneath it is gooey magma just waiting for an excuse to party. The sudden stop messes with the balance of tectonic plates, unleashing monster earthquakes and volcanic eruptions everywhere. Imagine the planet burping lava like it just ate 10,000 spicy tacos. Then comes the whole day and night situation. Normally, Earth's spin gives us a 24-hour cycle. Day, night, repeat. But without spinning, one half of the planet faces the sun all the time, while the other half is stuck in endless darkness. Let's start with the day side. With no rotation to spread the heat, temperatures would skyrocket. We're talking hundreds of degrees, enough to boil rivers, fry cities, and turn dumb rabbit into a crispy carrot chip. Plants would shrivel, animals would roast, and oceans would literally start to evaporate. Meanwhile, on the night side, it's deep freeze central. Temperatures would plummet far below zero. The oceans would start freezing solid, glaciers would sprawl across continents, and anyone stuck there would be frozen popsicles in record time. Imagine rabbits lined up like carrot-flavored ice cream bars. Cute, but tragic. The border zone between eternal day and eternal night would become the only livable strip left on Earth. Think of it like a skinny belt where maybe, just maybe, life could cling on. People would fight tooth and nail for space in this twilight zone. And society? Total chaos. Oh, and remember those winds from earlier? They wouldn't stop. The boiling hot air from the day side would rush to the frozen night side, creating permanent superstorms that circle the globe. Basically, Earth would turn into one giant weather machine set to nightmare mode. So yeah, if Earth ever stops spinning for good, the planet won't just be uncomfortable, it'll be unrecognizable. We'd go from cozy blue marble to a half-frozen, half-fried wasteland spinning silently around the sun. And me, dumb rabbit, I'd probably be hopping along the twilight line, juggling ice cubes in one paw and a sunburn in the other, still wondering why anyone thought stopping the planet was a good idea. So, what did we learn today? If Earth stopped spinning for just 1 second, we wouldn't get a peaceful pause. We'd get supersonic winds that rip apart cities, mega-tsunamis flattening continents, firestorms turning everything to toast, and then, just when you thought it was over, an endless hellscape of half the planet burning while the other half freezes solid. Basically, Earth hitting pause is less like taking a nap and more like pressing the self-destruct button on the entire biosphere. And yet, it's kind of wild to realize that the only thing standing between us and that chaos is the fact that Earth keeps spinning silently, endlessly, like the ultimate cosmic fidget spinner. Honestly, that's kind of beautiful and terrifying. But hey, I'm just a dumb rabbit with oversized glasses, not a planetary engineer. All I know is, please do not pull the cosmic handbrake. So next time you complain about Mondays or your Wi-Fi being slow, just remember, you could be flying through the air at 1,600 kilometers an hour while getting slapped by a fire tornado. Suddenly, bad coffee doesn't sound so bad, does it? Anyway, if you enjoyed watching me panic about the apocalypse, make sure to like, subscribe, and hop along for the next video, because trust me, the universe has way more ridiculous stories hiding up its fluffy sleeves. And until then, keep spinning, stay curious, and whatever you do, don't stop the planet.